Welcome to another episode of Design with Pam. Today we're going to be designing this simple page that shows a user's portfolio, their portfolio balance, their card details, the expiry date, inflow and outflow, and a bit of their transaction history. Alright, so I'm going to tell you my thought process and show you how I came about this page. Alright, let's get into it. Just like we always do, we go to our toolbar here and we'll choose this drop down and select frame, but we're going to go to the drop down for phones and select a 13 mini. Right, so I'm going to take this phone mock-up thing here and then I'm going to align it very well. So I'm going to align to the top. So this I always put here, this gives you like a cue of where you're going to start from, because you know it's a mobile phone design, like an application design, right? And all mobile phones have this battery life icon, the Wi-Fi and dates. So I always start with another frame here and I leave my frame to a height of 42. Okay, that is where I always put my title. So I'm going to click on T and type my portfolio. So I'm using a font. I'm going to be using this font, Aviner, and I'm leaving it at heavy and I'm going to leave it at 16. Come here and try to position it inside the frame that I have here, but I'm going to click, just try to, right, I'm going to align it here, center alignment, and I'm going to also align it vertically. I think that's fine. So this menu here that we have here, I'm just going to go to my right click on my mouse and go to plugins and then go to hero icon. You're going to find this menu icon here. Right, so we're going to make do with this one. I'm just going to position it here. So before we continue, let's just put down our grid lines here so we can see exactly what we're doing. I have other videos where I showed you my grid lines. Alright, so I'll try and create an auto layer with this two and center it and make sure that is in the middle. Sorry, not in the middle. This one is actually in the middle, but this one has to start from this grid line here. It's right into a more serious business. So we're going to create this card here. Just click on F on your keyboard and activate the frame tool, then draw a frame. All right. So, but this frame, let's give it a specific height and width. The height should be 181. Then the width, I'm going to leave it as 327. All right. So I'm going to give it a corner radius of 16. Then I'm going to increase I'm going to give it a fill color. I'm going to take the color picker here and then choose this color that we have going on here. So the next thing is to type total portfolio balance. I'm going to place it here, but I'm going to change the weight of the font and also the color. Okay, so let's go with this color 9291 A5. So let's add this color to our library. I'm going to click this menu option here and I'm going to click on the plus sign. I'm going to say, let's call it of black brown. Okay, so but I'm reducing the font to a 12. No, let's leave it at 13 and I'm leaving it at Roman. No, let's leave it at medium. All right, so for the second one, for the amount, we are going to, let's copy it out here. So what I did here was I used Aviner, same thing. The font is 16, but the spacing here, the line height here is a 162.5, while the letter spacing is a -6. So I'm going to select this and select the total portfolio and click on Shift A to create an auto layout. Then I think I'm going to leave the spacing to be 4 here. This is where you see the spacing here. Next thing I'm going to do is to hit T on my keyboard, and I'm going to type these numbers you're seeing here. You know how card numbers are. It's just a mock-up design, right? But to achieve this thing that we have going on here, I'm going to use a font of Space Mono. This helps us achieve this, and I'm going to change it to regular. Letter spacing here, letter spacing, I'm going to increase it to a 14. Let's give it a 14. All right. So just to make our work easier, I'm going to duplicate this text here by holding on to my option key and dragging it out. And I'm going to go ahead and type the word card holder. I'm going to place it here, duplicate this one too, and then type expiry. Right? So I'm going to duplicate this one also and type the word Hello Dreams Limited, but I'm going to reduce it to heavy. Right, so just same way, select this, select the other one, and create an auto layer by hitting Shift A. And I'm going to also duplicate this and then type 10/28, which is the date thing that I'm trying to select this and create an auto layout. But the spacing here is 0. I think it's okay because it's not noticeable. Select the both and create an auto layout. Just keep this here. So the spacing bit from the top of this, let's give it a 16. From the side, let's give it a 24. Okay, I'm going to make sure the spacing here is a 14. I'm going to also create an auto layout, then also add an auto layout between this. The spacing here should be a 16. All right, so I'm going to create this MasterCard thing that is going on here. Click on O on your keyboard and hold on to Shift while you drag out with your mouse. I'm just going to place it somewhere here. So when there's a frame and you want to place another object, it's just going to like stack on the next item. But if you want it to just behave normal, so just go to absolute position and then click on this and push it here. Then I am going to reduce this very well and then duplicate it. So I'm going to hold on to the one that is on top, and I'm going to go to color fill, click on it, select the color picker, and then choose this color that we have here. But we're not getting the exact color because what I did, I used a particular color, then reduce the opacity. So I'm going to paste the color here and go ahead to reduce the opacity okay. So the second one here, this is the color that I used. I'm going to go ahead and paste it here and paste the color. Then I'll select the both of them, and then I'm going to group it. Right click on my mouse and group. So the next thing is to type MasterCard. Right, same thing that we did, make it, just type MasterCard. But this time around I'm going to leave it at Roman. I'm going to shift it to this place, just here. And it's as simple as that on creating this card. Next thing I'm going to do is to go ahead and increase this frame just a little bit. Right, then I'm going to click on F on my keyboard. I'm going to draw another frame. For this frame, I'm going to give it a width of 155. For the height, I'm going to give it a 74. Let's give this a 154. All right, so I'm going to add a bit of stroke to it. Then I'm going to click this fill color here and then zoom in to select the color that I used here. Right, so you can copy out the color code that is here. Then I'm going to go ahead to round the corners to an 8. I'm also going to add a fill color. The fill color that I'm going to use here is this. All right, so you can copy out the color code here. It's somewhat close to the blue, like the main color that we're using. Let me close this out so you can see. So I'm going to duplicate this, select the both, and create an auto layout. 16 looks good in it, so it's well balanced. I want to add the text in it, so I'm going to ungroup it for the now. Then I'm going to click on T on my keyboard, and I'm going to type inflow. Then I'm going to chuck it in here, duplicate this, and type the amount. It said it's 80,000. All right, so I'm still going to change the color for inflow. I'm going to try to use this color that we have been using here. So I'm going to take my color picker and choose this color. Right, I think this is okay. They're both 16 and they're both heavy. I'm going to duplicate this. The spacing between them, let's give it a 2. Do we need to? No, let's even give it a -2. I want them to be very close to each other. Then I'm going to right click on my mouse and I go to hero icon and find the plus. This will do. I'm going to bring it in here, select the both of them, and create an auto layout. What I'm going to do is, because the frame that this icon came in is giving it more space, so I'm going to remove the vector in it, and I'm going to find the frame and I'm going to delete it. All right, let's ungroup this and let's place it where we want. Select the both of them and let's just group it. But I'm going to reduce this icon here. I'm going to click on this constraint proportions and I'm going to make the icon, and no, and it is too small, a 12. The spacing between the two should be 4. Right, this is good. So to create the auto layout, let me ungroup this. I'm going to ungroup this now. Then I'm also going to ungroup this. Then I'm going to take this one here and I'm going to this 80 million, and I'm going to hold on to my shift key and select the icon. Then I'm going to create an auto layout by clicking shift A. Then I'm going to come to this auto layout section and I'm going to align it to the bottom. All right, then I'm going to select the upper one, upper text, which is inflow. I'm going to create an auto layout. Right, then I'm going to try to make it, the spacing between the both of them, as you can see, is 0. I'm going to make it a -2. I want them to come closer together. All right, since we're good, I'm going to right click on this, duplicate it, place it here, and title this outflow. So I use certain colors here just to indicate some form of I think I still want to reduce this. No, let's leave it. To indicate some form of oh, green inflow, something is coming in, is green. You know how the human mind works. When they see something green, they think is good, and at the end of the day they might be prompted to keep adding money so that the green side will keep going green while the red side will stop being red. So for this vector, I'm going to change it, this icon here. I'm going to go to hero icon. Let's see if it will find me a minus. Okay, so I'm just going to search for it myself. Let's go to Iconify, since I couldn't find it from Pix hero icons. Let me type minus. All right, we have it here. Let me delete this one. And the reason why it's looking big like this is because I told you it comes with in a frame. The frame gives it extra space, so I'm going to remove it from the frame and I'm going to delete the frame. Let's place it here a bit. All right, so I'm going to give it a somewhat yellow. All right, just to show that something is living here. The width, let's reduce it to a 12. I'm working on this letter line height so that this can be better positioned very well. So I reduce the line height for this number here so that I can get it to fit very well on the same lane with the icon. Just the line height was a bit much. All right, I think we're good. So the next thing is to add all of the section. I'm going to click T and type transaction history. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to like try to work on this section here because I feel like you need a better work. So I'm still going to leave it at Avin error, but I'm going to make the text to be medium. Then I'm going to go to duplicate this and type view all. While I do this, I am going to, because the first thing I would like them to see is transaction, then before they go ahead to look at view all, right? I'm going to reduce this to book and then change the color. I'm changing the color to what we have here. Then I'm going to select the both of them and create an auto layout. Let's try to center it a bit. Okay, so this is good. So for this two, I'm going to select it now and create my auto layout and leave it at 16. Then I'm going to make sure that the spacing between this one and this one, I'm going to click on this one, hold on to my shift and select the other one and go and make adjustment to the spacing. I'm going to make it 832. Right, so this is okay. So for this one, let's give it the spacing to be 32 too. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is to create the section here. I'm going to click on T and I'm going to type stock trading. But this time around, I'm going to reduce the font to a Roman, right? Then I am going to duplicate it and type our date, 28, 3, and time. So most time for stock trading or trading platform, you get to see the date and the time of a particular transaction. So that was what informed this content that I have going on here. I'm going to go ahead and take this color, pick this color here. So remember, I don't use black. I'm going to select non-black. Make sure I select my black is non-black, and this is the color code that I'm using. Same goes here, non-black. Right, makes everything to be more relaxed. I'm going to select the both of them, create an auto layout, make sure the spacing is, let's give it a 6. 6 is okay. Then I am going to duplicate what I have here, this text I have here, remove the icon here, and for the text I'm going to reduce the font a bit. No, let's leave the font at 16. It's also heavy. I'm going to select the both of them and then create an auto layout and make it align it to the top right. So one thing again is I'm going to reduce this spacing because I want to create this thing that look like an icon. I'm going to click on O on my keyboard, hold on to shift and I'm going to drag. Apologies. So the next thing, before I continue, I'm going to put on my grid line just so I know what I'm doing. Let's also reduce the spacing a bit. Increase this for a moment here. So for stock trading, what kind of icon do you think we can put here? Let's go to Iconify. Let me type trading. Right, so we have, let's just use this one. But you can find a better icon that says something that speaks better to what it's supposed to be doing. It's at the back, so I'm going to right click on my mouse and select bring to front. Oh, this icon is not giving anything relating to stock trading. All right, but I'm going to select the both of them. I am going to group it. Then I'm going to change the fill color. Let's use this color here that we've been using. And for the icon here, the vector, we're going to change it to our black. Then just click on F on your keyboard to create a frame. F, let's create a small frame around this, more to be more like a base, something that would differentiate the first one from the second one. So sometimes I use lines, sometimes I use that. So I'm going to take the color that we've been using here since. But for this one, I think I use, the height I use here is 67, so 68, so let's make it a 68. Then I'm going to click on all this, both of this. I'm going to create an auto layout. Then I'm going to try to align it. But first of all, let's reduce the spacing here. All right, so for the frame, let's give it a bit of a corner radius. Let's give it a 12. I think 12 might be too much. Let's give it an 8. All right, so let's remove our grid lines. So I'm duplicating the, selecting the both of them, creating an auto layout and reducing the spacing to a 16. So there you have it. You can create, oh, our shape here is lost because I use the same color. So let's try to change the color a bit. Okay, we can go with this for the purpose of this tutorial. But you can come up with something great, something better. You can send it to my DM or on Instagram. This is me. And you can find me on Instagram as Pamela the Designer. And if you found this video helpful, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Send me your work on my DM at TikTok or Instagram. I can provide more feedback or feedback to you. All right, thank you and have. All right, this is where we are. You can complete the rest and let me know. So let's also group this, create an auto layout and make the spacing 16. Spacing between this should be 24. Auto layouts. Let's also create an auto layout and center it. Now we have a nice and clean design. Let's preview it here. Now we have a nice and simple clean design. All right, see you next time.